I want to talk about creativity. And as I was thinking about this earlier before I set out on my errand, and now I'm on my way home, which I thought I was going to be doing this as soon as I left the location. But I was listening to a little bit of a podcast about history, and that kind of leads to the second part of what I want to talk about, curiosity. Okay. So, creativity, I was thinking about this as I, again, listening to yet another podcast. So that's, it's almost like in order to be creative, you got to also be curious, you know? And there's a lot of people who want to get into certain industries or whatever. They hear and see the glamour of it, like being a filmmaker or a songwriter or an artist, whatever you want to call it, that kind of thing. But then they only see the glamour part, and I hope that's starting to like go away, because it takes work. Right? So it does take work. Like, yes, last night I was looking over at my equipment and thinking about, like, well, okay, do I need to upgrade like guitar cables, things like that? You know, just the mundane stuff. Like, you gotta have your kits, you gotta have your stuff, your materials, your tools. That's a part of it. But then when it comes to creating, and this is where I'm an independent musician and songwriter and composer. When it comes to creativity, the other day on Threads, somebody just asked a random question about, do you only write when you feel like the urge, or do you practice it, or do you do like you make it a job? And I hate how people pose that question, because you have to hone in your craft. And so I told them in response that I made an assignment to being creative. Like, and you can do that. You know, a lot of people are not aware that, yeah, you don't have to wait for inspiration or do substance, you know, because there's that. There's some people who believe in that too. Do substance for your creativity. It's like, no, you can also practice it, exercise it like a muscle. Okay. And what I wanted to add into the creativity part before I started my errands today was that creativity is problem solving. Okay. It's a higher form of problem solving. Say, okay, let's just use the songwriting as an example. So you have emotions, you have feelings, you know, whatever. And you're just writing a song for song's sake? Not necessarily, yes. Or you're expressing yourself. You can express yourself in lots of different ways. You can talk about it, write about it, or you can sing about it or dance about it, right? That's why when you see, let's see a dance, if you go to a concert and you see some dancers dancing and they're dancing about a tragedy, they're problem solving. They're processing those emotions that they felt during the tragedy. If you go to a play, go to theater, and you watch this dramatic play, that's a form of processing, and it's also maybe even educational too. And I talk about this when I teach my kids, my 7 and 8 year olds in second grade, that you must think about when you're creating, you're doing one of three things, and we call it the PIE. P-I-E. You're either persuading, you're informing, or you're educating. Wait, I feel like the E and the I are the same. One of them, well, persuading is definitely like trying to get somebody to do something. Like entertain. Sorry, not educate. Inform is educate. Entertain is the E at the end. So when you are a creator, you're doing one of those three things. no matter what it is you're doing. Either you're persuading somebody, either you're informing, teaching someone, or you're entertaining them. Sometimes, and this is what I told the kids too, sometimes you're doing a combination of two or all three. Okay? Most, I guess, writers or creators can effectively do all three. Yeah. But it's a form of problem solving. So how do we express who we are as people? How do we express this tragedy I went through? How do I help other people get through these tragedies when they're feeling the thing? So again, do you see how that works? Problem solving. And that's why you don't necessarily wait until you're inspired to write. You've got to learn the craft or create. You've got to learn the craft. You've got to learn history. And again, that's back on history again. A lot of people, like, I'm not trying to, how can I say this? I'm not trying to make anyone feel as though that they are untrained. If they're untrained, they can't create. No. You have to understand some foundational things anyway. Okay, let me go back to even more simplistic things. At least in the Western world, when somebody sees somebody's lips curling upward and their eyes squinting, that looks like a smile. Happiness, right? This is what I'm talking about. Foundational things. It could be different in other parts of the world, like facial recognition of what does it look like to be happy? What does it look like? Again, an artist, a visual artist needs to know that, right? That's what I'm talking about. When it comes to color theory, when it comes to color that emotes, again, that's what I'm talking about. Like building a foundation, not necessarily like you have to go to college or to art school or whatever. You're on, the thing here so that you can find somebody who can give you those elements to enhance your art, to enhance what it is that you want to do as a creative person, to problem solve. Okay? And find more innovative ways to do it. Because just like I said, to curl your lips upward and squint your eyes, for everybody, that doesn't mean smiling. Okay? It does not mean smiling for every culture. So being a creative, knowing your tools, knowing what it is that you're trying to problem solve for, it helps you be a better creator. It helps you be a better, an effective problem solver. Even like say, like right now, I'm about to go in there and work on my kitchen today. That takes me knowing how to measure. That takes me, again, foundational stuff, right? Knowing how to work my tools, knowing how to, lay down my pieces or whatever it is I'm going to be doing. Those are foundational things. Things that we don't think about we need to know, but we need to know. So like I said, any type of creative person, if you're into cooking, woodworking, dancing, even modeling, being a model, being a singer, like I said, I'm checking materials. I got to check my health and wellness to be able to be a singer. All of those things. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go, speaking of, but before I let you go, yes, I am a singer. So this is my debut CD release. I have 2 others out there. You can Google me. I am Nerd Queen, the channel that you're on right now. Let me turn it around so you can see. I don't know if you can see it backwards, forwards, or whatever. It's backwards here. But Nerd Queen. And then I'm also in a band, okay? In a rock band. We're songwriting. So that's, again, where I'm thinking right now, like, what am I going to contribute to the band? Because songwriting is tomorrow, and we have a meeting. But this is my band that I'm in. And this is out and available for folks to take in. Black Fox. I'm lead singing on like 3 or 4 of these songs. Okay. So that's me. And like I said, I didn't bring my songbook with me, but because, like I said, I was just making a short run today. I'm trying to upload my songbook and start, working on publishing. Yeah, I got songs. And think about, like, what am I going to contribute to the band? Because they keep asking me. They're like, when are you going to bring a song in? When are you going to bring a song in? I was like, oh, okay, I'll bring one in. But yeah, so that's me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else out there that I can show y'all. Not really, but yeah, so creativity and curiosity, that's what you need. In fact, before you need creativity, you got to be curious in order to be creative. You got to be curious in order to be creative, to truly be like successful at it too. Okay, that was a little lesson in creativity. All right, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm a songwriter, a composer, singer songwriter, woodworker. I'm about to go work in my house right now. Okay, all right, take care. Bye. Curiosity.